Welcome back to Neo Insight. The journey home continues. Michael Thomas survived the Great Storm and finally understood that his heavy weapons were merely symbols for his spiritual strength. He is now light, nimble, and ready for the next level, the third house, the house of biology. But why is the next step in a spiritual journey about biology? Michael encounters the stout, humorous Angel Green, who knows a profound secret. The dark entity is about to change its strategy and confront Michael head-on. This episode is about transforming your human body into a divine tool. Watch now to discover why your biology is your greatest ally and witness Angel Green's ominous prediction. What a meeting that will be. The long-awaited confrontation is about to begin. The third house. Mike paused at the footpath before he entered the third house. This one had a sign on the lawn that read, House of Biology. The entire house and the sign were all one hue, just as the other houses had been. This cottage-style structure was a beautiful Kelly green that seemed to blend in with the surrounding natural color of the luxurious grass and trees, tempered by the subdued lighting of dusk. Mike knew that he was about to meet still another angel who would undoubtedly become his friend. He took stock of where he had been so far and guessed correctly that the first two houses had both been preparation-oriented, helping him prepare for his journey. Now came the beginning of substance and training. After what he had been through so far, this had to be easier, Mike thought. As he approached the house, an enormous green angel stepped out on the porch, watched him approach, and gave Mike the standard salutation. Greetings, Michael Thomas of Pure Intent. This angel, whom Mike would automatically call Green, seemed especially stout and filled with mirth. Mike felt that all the angels had a great humorous streak in them, but Green always seemed to be smiling. The angel looked Mike up and down and winked. Nice sword. Good evening to you, Green, Mike replied, ignoring the comment about the sword. I'll bet he did that just to make me feel more comfortable about carrying something so seemingly out of place in this spiritual quest, thought Mike. Nope, replied the angel, reading Mike's thoughts. Not all swords are as grand as the one you have. I know. I see a lot of them. What makes the difference? Mike asked. We named you for a reason, Michael. Your intent is indeed pure, and your heart literally rings with your quest. Your tools therefore reflect something that all such as I can see. Please come in. Mike followed Green into the house, continuing the conversation. Does that make me different, special, better? It makes your potential huge, Michael. Remember that as a human you have choice. We never grade humans or compartmentalize them. We view each of you as a level of energy potential. Potential for what? Change, exclaimed Green. Why? Green stopped and faced Mike. They had just passed through a number of small, green rooms and were now in what seemed to be the entrance to another of Mike's temporary quarters. The angel spoke softly and with a tremendous sense of patience and honor for the human he was standing before. Why are you here, Michael Thomas? To allow for my journey home, Mike stated quickly and honestly. And what must you do to allow for that? The angel was creating a space for Mike to define his current situation, travel on the road of 7 houses. And Green wanted more, become a different dimensional being. Mike sheepishly parroted what he remembered Orange had told him. Green smiled broadly and spoke. Eventually, Michael of Pure Intent, you will actually understand some of the words and concepts you are reflecting now. Did Orange tell you that? Mike knew he'd been found out. Yes, he did. I really don't know what it means yet. I know, mused the large green one. So, back to the question. What are you doing about getting home? Changing, Mike stated triumphantly. Why? Green asked. Now the question had gone full circle, and Mike was about to answer his own inquiry. I can't go there unless I change, stated Mike quizzically. Exactly. The journey home has several parts, my human friend. First, there's intent to go. Next, there's preparation. This is always followed by self-discovery and understanding that the changes you must undergo are necessary for you to get there. You're already feeling that. And finally, you study how things work so you will be able to be comfortable with the overview. Opening that final door marked home is like a graduation, Michael. There is nothing like it. This was the very first time an angel had begun to discuss the goal and the final door. Mike was very excited. Tell me more about what to expect, Green. This is what Mike was really interested in, the final goal. What to expect when he opened that door. When you initially asked, you defined it yourself. Green answered. When was that? Mike didn't remember. When you first asked for this journey, answered Green. Mike suddenly remembered the conversation that had started all this, with the great white faceless one, when he was asked to describe home. You know about that. Mike was shocked. We are all part of the family, Michael. Green glided into the room where Mike was to stay. This should all look familiar to you, said Green. Mike looked around. It was much the same as the other houses, and was extremely inviting for rest and sleep. He smelled the meal that was already prepared in the adjacent room. They're also closed this time, Michael. The angel pointed toward the closet. Mike suddenly realized what a sight he must be, with blood and dried mud on his torn clothes, a product of the life-threatening storm he had just experienced. Mike looked into the area where Green had pointed. There indeed were clothes. He took a closer look and discovered fine traveling clothes just his size, and a grand green robe. He turned to ask Green how his exact size was known, but Green was nowhere to be seen. Mike smiled to himself and spoke out loud, knowing that Green would hear him. Good night, my green angelic friend. See you in the morning. Mike ate and slept soundly that night until about 5 a.m., when he was visited by a nightmare. In his dream, he again saw the horrible dark thing approaching during his helplessness in the storm. He again felt the forewarning that his life was about to be ended by this menace, and he was terrified. He awoke with a start, sweating profusely. Green was standing by the bed. Ready, he asked. Do you guys ever sleep? Asked Mike, rubbing his eyes. Of course not. It isn't even light outside yet. Mike still felt weary from the seeming lack of sleep and the frightening dream. Get used to it in the House of Biology, Michael Thomas. Green smiled again and continued to stand there. I will be here each morning at 5:30 to begin the lessons. Before we are finished, you will understand all about sleep patterns and biological energy and bad dreams. You know my dreams? Mike was amazed. Michael, you still don't realize our connection to you. We know all about you, and we honor your process greatly. Green took a few steps back from the bed and gestured for Mike to get ready and join him. Mike felt a bit shy. Green, I'm not wearing clothes. That's how you're going to start the lessons, Michael. Don't be shy. Put on the green robe that's in the closet. Mike did as he was asked and went into the next room to enjoy his breakfast. Green was like an attentive dog. He sat with Mike and watched everything he ate, but he said nothing. This was the first time any angelic teacher had shown him this kind of attention. Something was different. After the meal, Green led Mike to a special teaching area. The other houses had all been enormous, with large rooms and high ceilings. In this one, all the rooms were small, and most of the teaching took place in only one of them. Green started right in. He asked Mike to take off his robe. Michael Thomas, of pure intent, point to your enlightenment. I don't understand, said Mike. Where is your pure intent? Where is your love? Where's that part of you that knows God? Green was intent and continued. Go ahead. Point to that part of your biology that has those attributes. Mike didn't have to think very hard about this. He now understood that Green, who was not human, wanted Mike to show him where in his body those values were present. Some are here. Mike pointed to his forehead. And some are here. Mike placed the palm of his hand over his chest. That is where I sense what you are asking. Wrong, stated Green in a loud voice that startled Mike. Care to try again? Slowly, Mike began a tour of his body, asking Green if it should be here or there as he continued to point. Each time Green gave a negative answer. I give up, Green, said Mike, exasperated after having pointed to almost every part he had. Where is it? Let me tell you a joke, Michael Thomas. Then you may try again. Mike thought this was very funny. Here he was, naked with a green angel in a land that really didn't exist in his former life, and the angel was about to tell a joke. Who would ever believe this? Was this a great place or what? Once there was a man who felt very enlightened. Kryon began, enjoying every minute of this joke-telling experience. When the man felt he had reached a level of enlightenment to continue on his journey, he found a taxi. Kryon smiled broadly and paused, looking for Michael's reaction to an angel's knowledge of the word taxi. Mike didn't give Kryon the satisfaction of expressing the surprise that he wanted, suppressing his sudden desire to laugh. Mike smirked a bit. Kryon continued anyway. When the man found the taxi, he stuck his head into the window and said to the driver, "I'm ready. Let's go." The driver, in reaction to the instruction, immediately took off in the direction the man wanted, taking only the man's head with him. Kryon was very funny in his storytelling and again looked at Mike for a reaction. Mike was deadpan and looked at Kryon, turning his head to the side and twisting his face into an expression that said, "And?" Kryon got to the punchline. Blessed is the man who places his whole body into the taxi before announcing that he is ready to go. Kryon was proud of his storytelling, despite Mike's obviously stifled reaction, and he gloated in the silence that followed. "Don't quit your day job," Mike announced, barely containing his desire to laugh out loud at this funny angel's antics. "So, what exactly does your joke mean, Kryon?" Michael Thomas of Pure Intent. Each and every cell of your human body contains a consciousness that knows about God. Each cell, therefore, has the potential for enlightenment, love, and the pursuit of vibratory change. Here, let me show you. With that, Kryon did something that shocked and dismayed Mike. He quickly approached, and with a lightning move, he stomped on Mike's toe. "OW!" yelled Mike in disgust at such a violation of trust. "What is that about?" Mike's toe was throbbing with pain. He grabbed it and tried to soothe it, as any human would, hopping around on the floor in the process. "That hurt," Mike shouted at Kryon. The toe was turning red, then black. "That hurt a lot. I think you broke it." "What hurts, Michael?" asked Kryon casually as he watched Mike move around the room while grimacing at every step. "My toe, you slime-colored sadist." Mike didn't know what he was saying, but he was angry. Kryon was unaffected by Mike's outburst and came closer to him. "Stay away," said Mike, holding out his hands defensively. "I don't want to sample another angelic foot massage, or your idea of soul therapy. Don't come any closer." "What hurts, Michael?" Kryon asked again, also stating, "It's not your toe." "It's not?" Mike asked incredulously as he found himself on the floor in the lotus position, blowing on his foot, trying not to tip over. "Then you tell me, your holy greenness, what is it that hurts?" Mike was being sarcastic, but the angel didn't mind. "We do, Michael," Kryon stated. "Every cell in your body is feeling your discomfort right now. Say it, Michael, say we hurt." Mike did as he was told. "We hurt," he repeated not too enthusiastically. "Do you give permission for a healing?" Kryon inquired. "Yes." Mike was interested now. "State your permission," stated Kryon. "I give you permission to heal my toe," said Mike. "Wrong," stated Kryon in another loud voice. Mike didn't need a map to get this one right. He tried again. "I give you permission to heal." Mike paused. "We, I mean US." Kryon was still unsatisfied and said so. "Michael, give permission for the event. Don't give me permission to do it." Mike thought about this and rephrased his statement. "I give permission for this healing. We hurt, and we will all benefit from this cure." "And so it is," shouted an enthusiastic Kryon as he clapped his hands in glee. "You have it correct, Michael Thomas of Pure Intent. You have just healed your toe." Almost immediately, Mike's toe stopped throbbing. The redness turned a healthy pink, and his entire body felt relief from the pain. Kryon came closer, and this time Mike did not ask him to stop. "Michael, do you know what just happened?" Kryon's voice was soft and gentle. "I think I do, but I need you to elaborate." Mike was feeling weak from the lesson. The pain had exhausted him. Kryon continued. "I will never again cause you pain, my dear friend. You have my promise. From now on, you will learn from experiences other than pain. What you just learned was that the pain of the one part affects the many. It was a community experience. You feel tired now, don't you? If this experience had just involved your toe, why then would your entire countenance feel the effect? Why was there anger? Did your toe shout at me? No, your entire body shouted at me. Your toe knew of the pain, but all of you participated. The toe was the source of the problem, but I guarantee that all the cells knew of the event. The same is true of joy, pleasure, passion, and the inner pride of truth. Each cell feels everything and has an awareness of the whole. Green paused for effect. So it is with spiritual enlightenment and a godly quest. Then where exactly is my enlightenment, Green? Mike wanted a straight answer this time, without jokes or toe stompings. It resides equally in each cell of your body, Michael Thomas. Each and every cell has a consciousness of the whole. Each cell absolutely knows about the others. Each one participates in the vibration of the complete human. Green was quiet a moment, then turned for emphasis and sat down and faced Mike. Your time here will be to learn the characteristics of vibrational increase. Before we can begin, you must accept yourself as a group of cells that all know everything, not as a bunch of parts. I think I can do that. Michael spoke with serious intent. So do I. Green smiled his great big smile and got up from his sitting position. Are you ready? Still smarting from the toe experience, Mike felt himself involuntarily brought to his feet from the floor as he replied, Yes, sir. The next few hours were filled with instructions about human anatomy and health, not the medical kind of training, but advice about plain living and practical applications for good health. There seemed to be a constant stream of profound information about everything: what to eat, how to have energy, when to exercise and why, and how to know when it should be done. All through the lessons, Green constantly expressed concern that Mike understand the WE of his being. Mike was beginning to feel as if he wasn't allowed to have parts, and Green agreed with him. Mike slept extremely well that night and had no more nightmares. In the morning, Green was again at his bed and watched him eat breakfast. This time Green began to explain about each type of food that Mike was eating. Green didn't seem to care what Mike ate from his magnificent selection, but gave a tour of each food group as Mike chewed away, trying to remember everything that Green was saying. In the days that followed, Mike began an exercise program. On certain days, Green required him to again put on his battle dress so as not to forget what it felt like. Those were the days Mike enjoyed best. He didn't realize how much he had missed his sword, shield, and armor until he placed it on his body and again marveled at how well it fit. Green instructed Mike on food, plants, herbs, and how the body balanced itself naturally. Mike marveled at how the cells worked together as if they somehow knew something that Mike did not. It was all so wonderful. Green told Mike that there was a fine magnetic polarity for each organ and for each cell. Again, the cells all knew what it was, and by themselves worked to achieve perfect balance. When in balance, each cell could rejuvenate itself perfectly, and Mike learned how the body renewed itself constantly. Finally, he asked Green a funny question. It seems that my cells, we, are very smart when it comes to balancing the biology. How is it that I am seemingly in the dark in the process? Can't I contribute something to the situation? My mind really doesn't have the knowledge that the cells do. Where do I, as Mike, come in? Funny you should ask, Michael Thomas of Pure Intent. Green emphasized the pure intent part, and Mike knew what was coming. Green continued, Your body only needs you to honor it with proper intake, environmental wisdom, and maintenance, and it will do the rest. So far you have learned how to make it comfortable, feed it properly, and give it physical practice. Your systems are happy and busy without you doing anything else. Now, it's time for you to understand the test of your spirit, for you have something to give your body that it could never do for itself. Do you know what that is? Mike thought he did. Yes, I do, Green. Mike was feeling healthier than he had ever been in his life. He wasn't ashamed of his nakedness anymore, especially in front of Green, who admired the slow changes in Mike's appearance and told him so. Green was like a loving father who was also a world-class trainer. It's time for me to make a choice, Mike blurted out. Green almost exploded with glee. Never before has a human realized this in such a short time. Mike understood that he had finally said something right and was amazed at Green's reaction. The angelic presence shot around the room, showing off for the first time its ability to defy gravity and change shape. Mike might have been afraid if it hadn't been that the show was exclusively for him. When Green calmed down, he again came and stood in front of Mike. He looked like his green angelic self again, but he was still wide-eyed with merriment. He smiled and said, "Michael Thomas of pure intent, what is your choice?" "I choose to use the new gifts of spirit and increase my vibration." Again, Mike knew he had spoken correctly. Green backed up a few paces, as if to allow Mike's increased wisdom to swell around him. Green was obviously impressed. "So it shall be this very day, Michael Thomas." Green exclaimed, "You got it right. The thing that your cells cannot do is use the peace of God you carry with you that has the power to choose to enlighten itself. Only your spirit can do that, and although only your spirit can make the choice, each cell will know that you gave permission. Just like when your toe hurt, your spirit knew it. So it is that when you ask for a higher vibration, your toe will know it. The WNS of you is celebrating right now, Michael. They all know what you have given intent for. It's time you retired." It had been a grand day, and Mike was beginning to feel that he was understanding more about spiritual matters. Evidently, what he had done was very special. Green told him on the way to the bedchamber that Mike had given intent for a sacred pursuit, the first of many that Mike would have to ask for. Each time it was appropriate to move to another level, Mike was told that the biology would have to be balanced, with permission given. Green was proud of Mike and was treating him with even more respect than usual. When it came to the door of the bedchamber, Green asked Mike again to face him. "Michael Thomas of pure intent, normally I just disappear now and come back in the morning. You know the routine. I am here to tell you that I love you dearly. The attributes of a vibrational change have consequences that you must learn about and get used to. I told you that I would not hurt you, and I will not. Everything to follow will unfold at a pace you control. Any hurt you feel will be from you. Nothing will ever be the same for you. This night you will go to bed as one kind of human, but tomorrow you will be another, with all the tests and properties that go with the vibrational shift." Green looked at Mike a very long time, and Mike felt the amazing sense of honor that Green had for him. Mike knew this was different. He longed to ask Green to elaborate. "What's different? Will I know tomorrow? What's tomorrow's lesson? Tell me now." Mike didn't ask any of these things, and Green pretended he could not hear Mike. Instead, Green slowly backed out of the room, a very unusual procedure for Green. Something was changing, and Mike had an ominous feeling about it all. He spoke out loud to the walls. "I guess I have to expect something fairly drastic in order to move across the veil toward home." Mike sat on the bed. "Perhaps I will even become an angel before I get there. I might even turn a special color." Mike almost laughed at the thought of this, and as before, he expected to hear a retort from one of the listening angels, but there was only silence. Something inside him was already starting to change. He felt a vibration in the pit of his stomach. He was having chills. He knew he had to get to bed. Mike did not sleep well that night. He found himself wishing it were 5:30, for he realized that he missed and needed Green. He felt suddenly insecure. Each time he fell asleep, he had the same dream. IT was there, glaring at him, and each time the gruesome thing caught him, it destroyed him. As he was being dismembered, he awoke in a pool of sweat and anxiety, hearing his own screams abruptly cut off, then absolute silence. When he got back to sleep, he'd have the dream again. How many times could he be killed? 5, 6. It seemed endless. His death was repeated over and over, each time a bit differently. Each time his dream seemed more vivid. Finally, he couldn't take it anymore and began sobbing. He continued this, realizing that he was emptying his very soul into the pillow. He could not remember feeling such deep sorrow in his life. Even his parents' deaths hadn't caused such an emotional drain. He wept loudly. His weeping became wailing, and Mike was out of control. Mike cried for himself and for his parents. He cried for lost love and for lost opportunity. He felt IT had killed him, and Mike finally cried for his own death. He convulsed with sorrow and could not stop the upheavals of his body in its search for new areas of hurt to ponder and react to. Mike finally slumbered a few hours in deep exhaustion before he awoke. Something was wrong. It was almost light out. Where was Green? Why had he been allowed to oversleep? Mike arose and instantly felt the pain in his stomach muscles from the night of gut-wrenching, convulsive crying. He held his side. "Boy, do we hurt," he heard himself say to his body. Mike went into the room normally reserved for his meals. There was no food. He put on his green robe and began to search for Green. He noticed that the rooms he was familiar with had somehow begun to turn a brownish green. Or was that just the light? Speaking of light, it seemed to be failing. Where was Green? What's happening here? Green, where are you? No response. Mike toured the house, but he didn't find the angel anywhere. Finally, hungry and tired, Mike sat down alone in the room where Green had lectured him many times. He was puzzled and felt a blackness begin to overtake him that was very uncharacteristic of his journey. He recognized it. It was the same depression that he had experienced for so long in Los Angeles, before all this had begun to happen. What's happening? Mike wondered aloud. There was only silence. Where's everyone? Blue, orange, green. Hey guys, I need you. Silence. Mike realized that his depression was starting to take over his personality. It wouldn't be long before he was in that same hole where he didn't care about anything or anyone. He refused to let that happen. Okay guys, if you won't help me, then I'll do it the hard way. Whatever that meant. Mike was grasping at straws for a reaction from anyone. He went back to his bedchamber and looked around. When he opened his closet, he remembered the map. Perhaps it would give him some insight. It always did when something went wrong in this odd spiritual current land. Mike easily found the scroll and unrolled it. Mike wasn't prepared for what he saw. He stared in disbelief and slowly put away the map. He got back into bed, robe and all, and pulled the covers up around him. It was only 1 in the afternoon. Mike didn't care. He stared at the wall. On the parchment where the "you are here" indicator always was, there was only a black smudge, no words. There were no markings on it. The map was dead. It had lost its magic. Had IT invaded the house and actually killed Mike during the night? Had Mike experienced dreams or reality during his sleep? Had IT also killed the angels? How could all this be? Mike was fighting depression and blackness. He tried to make sense of it all and stretched his mind, trying to remember anything that Green said that would explain this. In the approaching black haze of his consciousness, Mike remembered Green telling him, "Any pain from now on will be from you. Nothing will ever be the same. I love you dearly." Had this been Green's goodbye? Mike again remembered what the Great White One had said at the beginning. Everything is not as it seems. Mike had to hang on. He believed in God, and this was all a trick, a test. Mike did the only thing he could think of. He got up and put on his armor. It didn't feel good. It was heavier than he remembered, and the sword felt stupid. He didn't care. Mike wore it with pride and spoke aloud. "Nothing will defeat my spirit. I claim victory over my depression." Nothing. Silence. Empty words. No feeling of love or honor, or that anyone or anything cared about Michael Thomas. This land was completely empty. Michael Thomas was the only one there. Mike was fighting for his very sanity. He would not give up. He went to the learning room and took his place in full battle dress in the student's chair. There he stayed until the sun went down, waiting and watching in the absolute silence of a land without sound. Even then, he continued to sit there, alert and waiting. He didn't know what to expect, but he would not give in to the darkness of the depression that he had conquered so completely before he entered this beautiful land. Finally, in the darkened room, he dozed off. His sleep was not fitful this time. He was beginning to create peace where peace had not been before. His power to do so was beginning to show. As he slept, his sword gently oscillated and sang to itself, responding to the new vibratory rate of the precious human who owned it. But Michael Thomas was unaware of it. His Shield glowed slightly, reacting to a new set of instructions from a changing biology, but Michael Thomas was unaware of it. His armor kept him warm, replying to spiritual instructions from a newly awakened source within Michael's DNA, but Michael Thomas was unaware of it. All the cells in Michael Thomas's body were being changed, and the metamorphosis was almost complete. Mike slept very well indeed. Things were different when Michael woke up in the morning. He was still in the chair that he had spent the night in, but it was somehow brighter and more cheerful in the room. He arose and tested his mind. Odd that his first thought was not to see if he was still alone, but instead if he was okay. The depression was gone. Mike realized that he was wearing his battle dress, but somehow he didn't even feel it. As he briskly walked toward the area where food had previously been served in order to see if he was going to starve again that day, he was greeted halfway by the wonderful aroma of a fine breakfast. Mike knew all was going to be well again. Mike ate like he had never eaten before. He was famished, almost ravenous in his attack upon the meal before him. He reveled in his feeling of well-being. He found himself singing out loud, with his mouth full. "Mom should see me now," Mike mused aloud, egg yolk dripping from the corner of his mouth. "She would be so ashamed at my manners." "She's actually very proud of you, Mike." Green was standing in the doorway. "We all are." Mike stood up in respect for his green friend. He was overjoyed to see the angel. "Green," Mike yelled in delight. "I wondered if I had lost you. Please, come and sit with me." Mike sat back down and continued eating. The large angel moved to the table and sat before Mike, but waited for Mike to speak first. He knew that his friend must have dozens of questions about what had happened the day before, but Green wanted to see when he would ask. There was silence while Mike continued eating and humming at the same time, smiling foolishly and looking at Green with sparkling eyes. Green took it all in, scanning Michael's body, obviously noticing the battle dress. He couldn't contain himself any longer. "Nice sword," said the smirking Green one. Mike burst out laughing at the remark, remembering that this was Green's first remark to him when he had arrived. Food spewed everywhere, and the great Green one joined Mike in his laughter. They embraced for the first time, hugging each other affectionately. It was the first time Mike had been allowed to touch any of the angels of the land, but he knew intuitively that it was somehow appropriate now. Neither could stop laughing. Michael found himself actually dancing with the great green angel to the music of his very soul, trudging on bagels and other delightful breads that were knocked off the table during the ruckus. He realized that now there would be pieces of blueberry muffins stuck between his toes. The room was a mess, but he didn't care. Mike's chest was still heaving from exertion and hilarity as he again sat down, trying to recover from his joyful antics. He finally spoke to Green, who stood before him. "I knew you would come back, you know." "How did you know?" "Because you told me you loved me." "I do," replied Green, smiling again. Mike took another bite of the now decimated meal before him. He paused. "Can my mother and father really see me, Green?" This was the most important question to him. He remembered Green's comment when he had entered the room a few moments ago. "It is a measure of your new awareness that you ask this question first." Michael Thomas of Pure Intent. Sometimes the angels of the land take wagers about which question will be asked first after the challenge of the change. The one that is normally asked, you have not yet voiced. We have been together again in this room for some time, yet you have still not asked it. Instead, you ask about your parents. Truly, I stand before a special human being. Mike wasn't certain, but he thought that Green was getting emotional, if that was possible for an angel. There was a pause until Green spoke again. "Yes, Michael Thomas, your parents can see you, and they are indeed proud." Green waited for more questions. Mike thought about what Green had said. He spoke again. "I think I know what yesterday was all about." Green cocked his head to one side. "Really? Tell me then." Green was all ears. Normally, at this point in a human's lessons in the House of Biology, the angel spent all his time trying to explain to a puzzled human where in the world everyone had gone the day before and the reason for the horrible, lonely journey into apparent blackness of spirit. "I've changed, Green, just like you said I would. I feel different. I feel. Mike paused for a moment. We feel empowered. I have an awareness about you, Green, that I did not have before. You have somehow moved from being my teacher into a role of... Mike thought about the right word, but paused a bit too long. Green interrupted him. Family. Yes. Mike quickly agreed. He was becoming introspective, but continued. What happened yesterday, I thought it was a test, but it wasn't. Green continued to listen, letting Mike pour out his ideas of what had taken place. I know you will eventually give me the details of what took place, but I think I know the why. Mike spoke slowly and deliberately, as an instructor would. Green, every cell in my body felt a withdrawal. It's like I turned off a switch and died. There was no solace anywhere. Not even my own mind could come up with any reason to exist. I was somehow a neutral human being. That's when I knew what was happening, when I looked at the map. It was a signal to my mind, and I knew what was happening. Green was impressed. Never before had a student in the greenhouse been so accurate and aware of the characteristics of vibrational shift. Usually it took a very long time to explain. Green knew he sat before a special entity. This Michael Thomas. Green was proud of his student and loved him even more. Mike continued. The map died too. I was in limbo. Then I knew what was taking place. In order to receive this spiritual gift of intent, I had to go through a rebirth of sorts. Almost like the power was turned off of my existence for a day, and then it was restarted with new circuitry. I knew that if I could somehow keep my sanity through it all, I would eventually be okay. I used a visualization of you telling me that you loved me, Green. It's the only thing that worked. When I thought about you, then I could focus on why I was here. Mike looked at Green and smiled. He tried to hide the fact that his eyes were tearing. Am I right? There's almost nothing I can add. Michael Thomas of pure intent. Green stood up for emphasis. What I will tell you is this. When you were thinking of my love for you, it wasn't just me. I am part of a collective, Michael. When you speak to me, you are speaking to the whole. You are part of it, too. But you don't feel it as I do. As you vibrate higher, these things will come into focus. When you felt the love of the one you call Green, you were also feeling the love of blue, orange, and even of your parents, as well as the ones you are going to meet next along this path. You don't know them yet, but they know you. We are all one, Michael, and you felt it at the moment of your greatest need. Your intuition one, what a gift you already have. Mike knew there was more, so he kept quiet, waiting for Green to gather his thoughts. Green continued. Everything you said is correct, my wise human friend. In order for you to move to a higher level, there is a time of challenge. It is a time when all of us in the collective must move away and let you change. We can do nothing for you during this time, and our energy will actually disturb your process. You are enabled spiritually to move through it. You felt the loss of your family, Michael. You felt abandonment and emptiness during the brief time that you had to remain alone. The only thing that centered you was love, and I, as an instructor in this house, could never have given you that solution. You found it in the blackness for yourself. I congratulate you for your awareness and maturity in this place. Green again paused to let Mike absorb the compliment. Do you have any other questions? Yes, I do. Will it happen again? Yes, it will. Each time you shift into a new vibratory state. What can I do to make it better the next time? Green faced Mike and spoke seriously. Recognize what it is and busy yourself with other things. Don't dwell on it, and remember that it is temporary. Hold ceremony around it. Honor the process in the midst of the blackness. Do exactly as you did, Michael Thomas of pure intent. Feel the love that is involved in the gift. Mike understood and took it all in. Slowly, through the days that followed, the lessons resumed. Because of Mike's new vibratory rate, there was even more to impart. Subtleties of awareness regarding the body were taught, and he was shown ways to tell if there was imbalance present. Green told Mike about new sleep patterns and food desires that would accompany each vibrational shift. There was so much to remember. The last days in the greenhouse were approaching when Green broached a new subject, one that had never before come up. Are you ready to talk about sex? inquired Green. Mike almost fell over. He eyed his great green friend to see if this was another joke. You have to be kidding. Mike was embarrassed. Not kidding, said Green. Mike spoke softly, as if someone might overhear him. Green, that's not angel stuff. That's something humans do in the dark. It's a lowly lust thing. I'm surprised you even used the word. Mike turned his face away and spoke to the corner of the room. I don't think we should discuss it in such a sacred place. Green was unyielding. It's not what you think, Michael. Your reaction to it is only what humans have made of it. It's biological, and that's why you are here. Green was silent, letting Mike have his space while he thought about what Green had just said. Mike was resigned. He knew that he could not escape something that Green was supposed to teach him. He had visions of high school sex education class, where some unlucky male teacher was given the task of explaining to a group of guys what they already knew. They giggled like girls the whole time, giving each other those knowing looks and wishing they were somewhere else. It was just too personal. Green, do we have to? Yes. What followed would forever change Michael Thomas's view of the physical relationship between human beings. Green spoke eloquently as though from personal experience, but Green was genderless. He told Mike that sex was one of the greatest spiritual aspects of biology. He described to an astounded Mike what the real purpose was, what males and females were supposed to get from the experience, besides children. He spoke of the elegance of raising the consciousness of two individuals simultaneously through the bringing together of emotion in a specific way. Green even gave Michael examples of how things worked in the spiritual realm of the body when passion was controlled and channeled in specific ways. Sex was an actual catalyst to enlightenment. When he finished, Mike was silent. I just can't believe it, Mike said, holding his face in his hands. All this time, and I thought it was dirty. Something you didn't bring into the light. Something carnal that we brought with us through the evolutionary chain. And now you tell me it is spiritual? Wow, what a concept. Wait till the priests hear about this. Mike was being funny, but the concept was overwhelming to a farm boy who had only learned about such things by watching animals, and later, in bits and pieces of misinformation from his adolescent friends. Mike suddenly lifted his head in realization. Green, I've missed so much. I wish I could have had this experience with a woman I loved. Now it's too late. Don't be harsh with your path, Michael. Not everything is as it seems. This information, although delivered late, will have its purpose as you proceed. The information is the important thing, even though its application might seem out of place where you are headed. The key is to change your attitude. See the process as sacred. It will help you to honor your biology even more than you do now. Green was right. As a male human, Mike still had his imaginings and his dreams, even in a place like this. He would have to start honoring them now, instead of feeling that they were somehow wrong or corrupt. It meant a great deal to him. He understood how it all fit into the picture, and he felt more complete because of it. Now, there were even private parts of his body that could join the WE with more respect. Mike laughed at this thought. Green saw his process and grinned in response. The next day, it was time to go. Mike dressed himself in his new clothing, somehow magically supplied by those in the greenhouse. This had been the most profound experience in Mike's life. As he stood on the doorstep of the green cottage in the warm sun next to Green, he didn't know what to say. Mike felt good. His battle gear looked great over his new clothes, and the materials chosen for him felt wonderful on his body. Everything fit perfectly, and he marveled at how those who tailored the garments would have known his new size due to the workouts he had been through in the past weeks. Green looked him over carefully, his eyes pausing momentarily on Mike's weapon, and was about to speak. Mike interrupted him. I know, nice sword. It was Green's turn to burst out laughing, and he did. He took the words right out of my green angel mouth. There was awkward silence while the two stood in the warm sunlight. Mike spoke first. Promise me that I will see you again. I promise, replied Green instantly, without reservation. Do you have a question for me? Mike spoke the words, remembering the protocol as in the houses before, when he was asked each time if he loved God before he departed. Yes, I have a question, and you know what it is. Green looked intensely at Michael Thomas. Do you wish to answer it before I ask? Yes, I do, spoke a ceremonial Michael Thomas. I love God with all my heart. My intent is pure, and my body is one with the spirit of all of you. I am closer to your vibration than ever before, and with that closeness comes a feeling of purpose, sacredness, and belonging. I am on my way home. There was nothing Green could say, whereas before, the angel had simply gone inside the house without a word. This time it was Mike who departed without saying goodbye. He confidently strode down the pathway, heading north toward the hills where the next house would be. Green stayed on the porch until Mike was out of sight and hearing range. Then, he spoke aloud, seemingly to himself. Michael Thomas of pure intent, if you survive the next house, you indeed will be the warrior I think you are. Green remained on the porch, waiting. It wasn't long before a detestable, ugly green creature silently passed the house on IT's dark quest, following Mike and looking directly at Green. The angel said nothing and gave IT no recognition or acknowledgement. Green knew all about IT. Green also knew that Michael would know shortly. Green smiled at the thought. What a meeting that will be, he spoke. Then, he turned and re-entered the green house. Michael Thomas passed the test of the House of Biology, successfully transforming his physical self and realizing that the human body is the greatest engine of light. He is now at the midpoint, a critical juncture in his journey home. Next, Michael Thomas strides toward the fourth house, the central core of the journey. This house of integration challenges Michael to blend all his new wisdom into his daily existence. But the darkness is not done. The entity now realizes Michael is a formidable warrior and unveils its most manipulative strategy yet, not fear, but doubt. The entity's new plan is to make Michael doubt every lesson he has learned and question his worthiness to continue. Will Michael Thomas doubt his progress and drop his spiritual tools just as he reaches the center of his map? To find out what happens at the center of the map and learn how to integrate spirituality into your daily life, subscribe to Neo Insight and turn on notifications. The test of doubt begins next.